there's a whole plethora of methodologies and techniques that deliver us to a deeper and embodied realization of, say, truth or ultimate truth or insight or discernment or spiritual realization, etc., like all the things that yoga does. And one such vehicle is most well known is called the Ashtanga Yoga system. And what Ashta means is 8, and Anga means limb. There's a number of yoga poses that have the word Anga in it, like Bhujangasana, cobra pose is Anga, right? And this is a systematic progression of techniques that start external, what's called Bahir Anga. There's that word again. External limbs that have to do with like your character and your conduct and truth telling and these sorts of things. It includes asana, includes pranayama. Those are the first outer limbs. There's a liminal limb that occupies the space between your external practices and what's called antaranga, which means the internal limbs. Internal limbs are dharana, dhyan, samadhi. They're concentration, meditation, and samadhi or superconscious absorption, high state of meditation. And there's an accounting of this in-between space called between the external world and the internal world called pratyahara, which most commonly is translated as sense withdrawal. Sense withdrawal. And I invite us just to pause for a moment and just consider the significance, just outright significance of the gateway of your senses. The gateway. This is the faculty, the medium through which our internal impulses can like actualize or gain data as we kind of move through the outer world. And it's also the way that the outer world can get inside here too, like ever doom scroll, right? And sort of lived with the echo of that, right? How the outer world gets here, or the things we can't unsee, as they say, right? I don't know where that expression's gone, but it had a good run there for a while. We can't unsee that, that guy with a ponytail, can't unsee it, and or untaste or unhear or so forth. So sense impression is an integral aspect of the human experience. And the practice of pratyahara is to take that potency, the potency of sense impression and all the mental space that it occupies, and direct all that energy inwards. Direct that energy internally. So to perceive your inner space, whether that's a felt sense, like an inner tactile sense, or like a vision, like as we do in meditation, right? We cultivate inner vision. And or sound for that matter, like capture your attention inwardly. And through positive sound association. One other translation of this principle of pratyahara is, get this, it's going to sound very abstract, abstraction, right? Abstraction is another sort of thing that pratyahara does, right? And the best way we might be able to just kind of sketch a caricature of what abstraction might mean, is just to think about when you come up from Shavasana, and maybe there's, a motorcycle goes ripping down 6th Avenue, and like it doesn't disturb your centeredness in any way. The sense impression that would normally be a little unsettling, it's like it just washes off you like water off a lotus leaf, like that. It just there's a steady, like the senses are kind of abstracted from their typical impulsiveness around the outer space, right? So this is really where we'll lean in this evening. It's kind of a unique class where we'll do practices of abstraction, just to kind of feel into pratyahara as a practice, which is a kind of a reach in a theme dedicated to imagination. It's like there's a color, like I should give you all like coloring books and crayons, and we kind of go at it like that. That would be one version of the imagination story, and that's coming next week. But there are five Wednesdays in November, so I had to get a little creative. I mean, my imagination is limited in some way, in some regards. Okay, so abstraction practice number 1. Invite you to sit up tall. And this is just a quick tee up as we get. So take your fingers, something like this, and try to like simultaneously perceive both of them equally without diminishing the other. Like, can you hold both of those equally in your field of vision? And then we'll open the eyes again. I'm curious how many of you may have found that just kind of put a different twist on the sense of sight for you. Like it didn't feel like the same playing deck that you're used to working with. Yeah. So just a small, again, another sketch of this abstraction